Welcome to class. For this class, I would suggest you to have some pillows ready or a bolster, a block and a strap. Let's meet on the back, bringing the feet together into Supta Baddha Konasana, placing the block or the bolster pillows right underneath the sternum. Interlace the fingers and place them right at the base of the neck, letting the head get heavy and rest in the hands for a deeper opening of the space around the armpits. If this gets too much, you can also rest the head on top of a block and just open the arms into cactus shape. This posture works directly on your hips and the area of your heart, and also on the lung meridian, which originates at the armpits. This class is a mix between Yin and Yang postures. The Yin postures like this one, we're going to hold a little bit longer, working on the fascia or a deep connective tissue, the joints, the ligaments. And we need to be able to relax in the pose, letting go of the muscular actions. Always respecting the limits, the sensations in the body. It's not about reaching the posture, it's really about how it feels in your body on that specific day. In this class, we're going to work mostly on the hips, the opening of the front body. We're going to work into a couple of deep back bends and inversions. Take a couple of last relaxation breaths in this pose. The eyes are closed, your face muscles, mouth, jaw relaxed. And then slowly bring the knees together, stretch out the arms, roll over to your right side, and come into a seat. You can elevate the hips, sit onto a block, bolster. Come into an easy pose, hands resting on top of the thighs, shoulders rolled back, chest lifted. The chin parallel to the floor. Bring the index and the thumbs together. And then take a moment here to find an intention for today's practice, to make it a little bit more meaningful, to make it count. Formulate that intention into one short sentence and feel it in your heart space. We're going to plant that seed with one Om together. Inhale fully. Exhale everything out. And inhale for Om. Bow down to your heart, open your eyes, interlace the fingers. Inhale, lift the arms up. And then exhale, round the back, hands chasing the floor. Inhale up, stretch the arms. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, arms up. Bring the arms behind the ears. And then open the arms and exhale, turn to your left side, palms facing each other. The spine is long, look down the nose or close the eyes. And then inhale back to center, exhale over to your right. Both sit bones grounding, you're twisting, using the strength of the obliques, belly sucked in, ribs in, shoulders away from the ears. And then inhale back to center, exhale, interlace the fingers behind the back, chase the floor with the index fingers, open the chest. Tip the head back, open the space of your throat. And then inhale, come back. And slowly come into child's pose. Bring the knees mat distance width apart. Lean the hips back, rest on your heels. And then walk the hands further forward. Come onto the fingertips. Tuck the chin or rest the forehead on the floor, whatever works for you. We want to feel the space of the armpits and the sternum, the chest, melting down towards the floor. And then slowly come up onto all fours, tuck the toes under. Exhale everything out, tuck the chin in, tuck the tailbone in, push the floor away. Inhale, arch the back, look up, pull the chest through. Exhale, squeeze all the air out, round the back. Inhale, look up, send the belly down, but pull it towards the spine. Exhale, round the back, squeeze the air out, push the floor away. And then slowly come into a neutral position and prepare for melting heart pose. The hips are more or less above the knees, maybe a bit further forward. Stretch the arms out, rest the forehead on the floor, or tuck the chin onto the mat. If you need to, you can also grab the front edge of the mat, so you're not slipping away too much. We are opening the space of the armpits one more time, the lung meridian, as well as the upper back. And keep the belly sucked into the spine, keeping that integrity, working into many different directions here. So even if the pose feels challenging, now try to relax into the posture. Maybe close your eyes, steady breathing, relaxed face. Try to be as soft as you can in melting heart pose. And slowly come out of the position, come onto the forearms, keep them shoulder width apart, elbows right underneath the shoulders. This is Sphinx pose, you can stay there. If you feel very little in this posture, straighten the elbows and come into seal position. This is another Yin Yoga pose that we're going to hold for 3 to 5 minutes. I want you to find a position that you can hold with ease for a longer period of time. So don't go straight away to your maximum. Work yourself up so that the posture feels okay for you. On a sensation scale from 1 to 10, you want to be at around 2 to 5, no more than that. If you want, you can also drop the head down to stretch the muscles alongside your spine. If closing the eyes is too much for you, then you can also just look down the nose. In any case, try to be steady, not fiddle around too much. But do feel free to adjust the posture to your needs. So if you want to move further, you can do so. And if you need to back off, of course, please do so as well. Try not to squeeze the glutes. Keep the legs relaxed, the face relaxed, the toes. The only active part of your body are your arms, holding the upper body and supporting it. This posture is not only pressurizing the spine and kidney meridian, it also opens the upper chest and strengthens the arm bones. There's also a deep stretch in the front of the body, which is where the spleen and the stomach meridian run. We have half a minute left, so try to relax even more for the last couple of breaths. And then slowly prepare to come out of the posture. Know that you will feel very vulnerable around the lower back area, so please move very slowly. Bending the elbows if you were in seal. If you were holding Sphinx pose, just release down onto the belly. Place the forearms on top of each other and rest the head in a neutral position. Wiggle the hips and then slowly pull your pubic bone towards your sternum. Release. Pull it up again with the inhalation. Release with the exhalation. It's very subtle movements to release the area of the lower back. And then bring the hands underneath the shoulders, press into the earth, lift up, come onto all fours. We're going to do one more deep shoulder opening, so come onto the forearms. And then cross your right hand over to your left elbow and the left hand over to the right elbow. Come onto the toes and lower the chest down one more time. This is similar to the posture we did earlier, melting heart pose, with the only difference that we're working a little bit deeper into the shoulders. I came onto the chin, but if that's not possible for you, then it's just fine if you come onto the forehead. We're going to stay for approximately 2 minutes in total, so try not to resist too much. Try to relax into the posture, finding a soft, steady breath. Same actions apply here. Pull the belly in, even though we have a deep arch there. You want to keep sucking the belly to the spine. And then inhale to lift up. First look down onto your forearms. Make sure you know which arm was forward. And then change the position of the hands. So if you were first holding on to your right elbow with the left hand, now you're going to do the opposite. Your right hand will catch your left elbow, and then the left hand will go over to the right elbow. If this was too confusing, just do the opposite of whatever you've done earlier. And come into the shape again. This is a beautiful posture to create space around the heart area, not just physically, but also emotionally. Even though this posture might be challenging, keep an open heart and embrace the pose with all its benefits. Become soft as you can. And slowly come out of the shape, come onto the belly, and rest flat on the ground. You can keep the head in a neutral position or maybe come down onto the right ear. In any case, we're giving the spine a moment here to find its neutral position. Let's move into the next posture. Walk your right hand out to the side so that the hand is in one straight line with your shoulder. And then bend your left elbow, place the hand right in front of you, roll over onto your right hip, and place your left foot either in front of you or behind you as I'm doing. You can hold there. If you want to move a little bit deeper, you can bring both knees up into bridge pose position and lower down both hips onto the floor. That's a very deep pose. You can go even deeper if you feel like by bringing your left arm up and catching the right hand with the left hand, clasping the hands and pushing the fist into the floor. Hold steady. Rest the head down onto the floor or maybe a block if you feel that the head is in the air. And rest. Remember that you don't have to go into the deepest variation of the posture. Remember your sensation scale and respect your limits, your edge. Don't go further than that. This should be a passive stretch, so check in with the body, see if you're holding any tension in your mouth or your face. And then slowly prepare to come out of the posture, roll onto the belly. Extend the left arm out into one straight line with the shoulder or a little bit further up. Come onto the left hip. Bend the top leg, bring it in front of you or behind you. Right hand in front of you, or maybe reaching up and back, clasping the hands. And one more variation is also just to bring your hand underneath the left side body, palm facing down into the floor. And remember also the option of coming onto your hips, feet hip distance width apart in bridge position, but also that is optional. So Find your shape and rest. Remember to bring the mind back in case you're wandering off. Just reconnect to the breath. Become aware of the moment you're in right now, breathing in and out. And then slowly prepare to come out of the position, roll onto your belly, and rest for a moment. The next posture will be an active backbend, Dhanurasana, bow pose. So whenever you're ready, bend your knees and reach for your feet. Hold on to the front of the ankles, but from the inside, so we're working more into the pecs. And then kick the feet away from you, lift the chest up, keep the shoulders down, activation in the glutes and in the hamstrings. Open the chest as much as you can, strong legs kicking back. We're holding the posture a little bit longer than usually, so try to enjoy the pose and the opening of the front body, strength in the back. Kick the feet away from you a little bit more, steadiness in the breath. Open a little bit more and then release down. Head comes to a neutral position, forehead resting on the forearms. Maybe wiggle the hips if you need to. The next posture will be Sheersh-Asana Headstand. Set yourself up, find a wall if you need it. Maybe you're working with blocks. Take your time. We're going to stay for 2 or 3 minutes. So measure your elbows and slowly come onto the crown of the head. Lift up, find your line. Reach through the balls of the feet, suck the belly in. Get really long and push into the elbows. Maybe you want to challenge yourself and close your eyes. Keep a steady breath. Count 4 in and count 4 out. Steady breathing. Make sure the face is relaxed. Maybe you want to bring a soft smile into your face. And just absorb all the goodness of the posture. Sheersh-Asana calms the brain and helps relieve stress. It stimulates your glands, strengthens the arms, the legs, the spine, as you probably feel it by now. It also strengthens the lungs because we're breathing upside down. It tones the abdominal organs, improves digestion. The list is very long. I'm going to leave you here for the last couple of breaths. Hold steady. We're going to hold for another 2 minutes. Try to find the strength to keep the pose, but remember to really press into the elbows to keep the neck as free as possible. And of course, there's always the option to come out of the position and rest in Balasana, child's pose. You decide how far you want to go. Maybe you want to do some variations for the last minute. I'm now opening the legs wide, bringing them halfway down, parallel to the floor. You can also do some circles on your ankle bones. Take the last minute here to experiment with different shapes. Maybe you want to bring the feet together into Baddha Konasana or lotus pose or twist. You choose. Last half minute. And come out of the position whenever you're ready. And we all meet in Balasana. Bring the hands behind the back, catch the opposite elbows to release the shoulders, to open the chest. Just make sure not to compress the neck too much. So melt down the crown of the head forward towards the mat to keep the neck long. And then slowly release the elbows and clasp the hands behind your back and lift the arms up towards the ceiling so that the fist is in the center and between your two shoulders. Lift the hands up as high as you can, melt the chest down, stay aware in your neck, and reach up a little higher. Keep it active and feel a deep opening of the space of your shoulders. And slowly pull the fist behind you and come up. We're going to work on one more variation of melting heart pose. This time you can choose if you want to work on any of the variations we've done earlier, or do the third one, which is the deepest version of today. We will come onto the elbows and bring the palms together and try to lower down not only the chest, but also the tricep towards the floor. You can do the same variation here with blocks underneath the elbows. or maybe onto a chair. This really depends on your flexibility, and also here we're going to stay a little bit longer in the posture. So try to relax as much as you can. Relax the face, the mouth. We usually hold a lot of tension in the jaw, even though we're not feeling it or we're not aware of it. So I want you to become soft and accept this position and know that it will not last forever. We're going to stay for 1.5 minutes. What really helps to stay centered and anchored is the breath. When we practice Yin Yoga, we normally don't change our natural breath pattern. But in this specific posture, it does really help if you find a steady and equal rhythm between the inhalations and exhalations. Maybe using the count of 4 for the inhalation and count back again to 1 with the exhalation. And then slowly come out of the position again. Roll onto your belly and take a couple of breaths here to get all the tension out of the body you might have had during the pose. And then bend the knees, and we're going back to an active version of backbending, Dhanurasana. This time hold on to the shin bones or the front of the ankle bones from the outside. Kick the feet back. Make sure the knees don't spleen out to the side too much. The knees should be in one line with your hips. Shoulders down, pull the chest through, the neck is long. The feet can be flexed or something in between flexion and pointing. Keep the back of the legs engaged and kick the feet away from you a little bit more with each inhalation. Use the exhalation breath to create space and release into the posture. And then slowly release down onto the belly. Rest the forehead down to the center in a neutral position. And then place the hands underneath the shoulders and press up into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Lengthen and stretch the back. Walk the feet out one by one, bringing some length into the hamstrings. And then slowly start walking the feet a little bit more forward. Keep the feet hip distance width apart and lengthen the spine. Walk the hands forward and then slowly come into a squat position. Press the palms firmly against each other. Elbows pressing against the knees, knees pressing back against the elbows. The back is straight and your foot arch is lifted. The weight is equally distributed in the feet. Chest is lifted and the face relaxed, the eyes closed. While you're in this position, make sure to really pull the pelvic floor up, engage Mula Bandha. Use this moment to find some activation in the perineum to strengthen that area of your body. And then slowly come out of the position, back to downward facing dog. And then step the right foot forward in between the hands, lower down the left knee, and walk your right arm to the inside of your right foot. Hold the position there, open the chest. If you want to feel a little bit of a deeper stretch, you can also walk the knee back a little bit more. So lift it up and bring it more further back. And we're going to stay in this position for 3 minutes, either supporting yourself with the hands or maybe even coming down onto the elbows. If you're doing so, relax the head down and come back to a steady breath. Try to breathe naturally, without any breath control. The mind is steady. Just feel, become aware of the little sensations in your right inner hip and the left psoas, hip flexor muscles. Make sure your toes of the back foot are relaxed. Relax. You can also roll to the outer edge of your right foot to open the hip even further down. That's possible, but that's also only optional. We're working on the stomach and the spleen meridians, which enhance endurance and balance. If you want to deepen the posture even further, bend your left knee and catch the foot with the right hand. Draw the foot closer to your sit bone and relax the head down again. Rest here for the last couple of breaths in this position. And then slowly lift the head up and open the shoulder, pull the right shoulder up and back, and kick the foot away from you. Curl open, and then slowly bring the hands down. Lift the back knee up. Hold this pose for a moment. Tuck the tailbone in. Keep your spine long. Open the chest. And lower the knee down again. And come into runner's lunge. Or if you want to call it Ardha Hanumanasana, half split pose. Any variation, maybe hands onto blocks, working it from there, or holding on to the outer edge of your right foot and aiming the belly down onto your thigh. There is a slight twist towards your right side. The sternum is reaching towards your right shin bone. The right foot is flexed. We're keeping it active here. The right thigh engaged, kneecap lifted, and a straight back. Keep the mind still. Bring it back if it wanders off. Just listen to your own breath from the inside out. Inhale, shift the weight forward into the hands and come into Pigeon Pose. Right foot to the left hand and lift the chest up. Lower down your left hip towards the floor. And let's stay in an upright position here at the beginning. This is also a little back bend. And arms are straight. Chest lifted. You can hold the position there. Or maybe lower down onto your forearms. Maybe supporting the head or just lowering the forehead down, spreading the arms wide or forward. Any variation you want to practice here. We're going to do now a Yin variation. So just melt into the posture. Maybe support your right hip with a block or a cushion if the position is too deep. I just want you to relax as much as you can. So get comfortable. Use props if you need to. Otherwise, we're going to hold here for about 3 minutes. Scan your body from time to time, making sure that the toes are relaxed, the shoulders, the face. And again, this is a Yin Yoga variation, so it's not really about coming into a certain shape. This position will look different in every single body. So even if the hip now comes up a little bit, it doesn't matter. Just try to relax all the muscles. We're working directly on the right hip, on the fascia, the joints, the ligaments. And that's why it's important to mention one more time that we don't want to stress the ligaments or the joints. We just want to put a mild stress onto that area so that the fascia can release after a while, after staying in the position for a couple of minutes. So remember your sensation scale and don't move further than 5. And you can either stay in this position or move into a little twist towards the left. So hook your right elbow to the inside of your right foot. Press the palms against each other and lift the chest up towards the ceiling. Tuck the chin in. Maybe close your eyes and feel the deep opening and twisting of your spine. Exhale, look down, come back to center, straighten the arms. Lift the chest up, hold the position there for a couple of breaths. And then slowly bend your left knee, pull the foot in, and then slowly hook your left foot to the left elbow. You can raise your right arm up, bring the index and thumb together into a mudra, look up to your hand, or if it's possible, bend your right elbow and catch your left hand. Keep kicking the left foot against the elbow to open the chest even more. Turn to the front of your mat, relax the shoulders down. Steady breathing. And then slowly release. Place both hands in front of you. This time, really take a block or a bolster, a blanket, roll it up and bring it underneath your right hip. We're moving into a variation of splits. If you want to do split without any support, go ahead. I'm going to work with a block. So set yourself up. Maybe come into a little forward fold here. This time round the upper back, suck the belly in and then slowly sink into your right knee. Keep the chest lifted, come onto the hands. And we're going to work our way into split slowly. So move back and forth, bringing some buoyancy into the hip, going slow in the stretch of the left psoas. And we're staying active by pressing into the left ball of the foot. Slowly wiggle the right foot a little bit further forward, maybe lower down the left knee. And come into position. We're going to stay for 3 minutes. So choose a variation of split that you can maintain for a longer period of time. You don't want to overstretch your hamstrings or even get an injury, so please be mindful. And at the beginning, I would suggest to stay upright. This is also backbend. Lifting the chest, lengthening through the crown of the head. The front foot can be flexed or pointing, whatever feels better for your right hamstrings. In any case, keep the front of your right thigh engaged. Soften your face. Keep the hips as squared as you can and come to a steady, balanced breathing. But steady. You can either stay here or maybe clasp the hands behind the back, open the chest, walk the fist back and down your left leg. And from there, inhale the arms up, clasp the hands, come into Kali Mudra. So your index fingers pointing up towards the ceiling. Find a little bit more length in the spine. Keep pressing into the front heel. Both legs are active, thighs engaged. And then exhale, hands back to the waist for a couple of breaths. And then slowly come out of the position. Bring the hands forward, tuck the back toes under. Start walking the back knee further in, little by little. Move slowly. Remove the block. And then step back to downward facing dog. Notice the difference between left and right. And slowly step your left foot forward and we're going to move to the other side. So bring the hands to the inside of your left foot. Lengthen the spine, tuck the tailbone under, hold the position there for a couple of breaths. Back leg is straight. And then lower down your right knee. From here, holding it for a couple of breaths. And if you have moved deeper earlier on the other side, you can also come onto your elbows here and rest for a couple of breaths. 3 minutes. Remember, it's okay if you come to the outer edge of your left foot, if the knee comes out to the side and the hip opens a bit more. It's just optional. If it happens naturally, go for it. Otherwise, just rest where you are at right now. If you want to intensify the stretch on your right thigh, then catch your right foot with the left hand, pull the foot in closer to your sit bone, and rest the head down once more. Keep the shoulders aligned. Lower down the hips and stretch your right psoas, the quads. And keep working on your left inner hip and groin. And then slowly lift the chest up and twist open towards the left side. Lift the chest up. Keep the shoulders away from the ears and keep kicking your right foot back and away from you. Now you might want to come onto the outer edge of your left foot. The knee can fall out to the side. Steady breathing. And then slowly come back to center. Take your time and we're going to move into half split on the left side. So shift the weight back. Straighten your left leg. Toes are flexed. Hold on to the outside of your left foot. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and then exhale, come into a deep forward fold. Once more, if you're rounding your back, just to come deeper and press your forehead against your shin bone, that's not the idea of the posture. We really want to work into the hamstrings of the left leg. Protect your lower back, your sacrum. This position is active and we're working with the breath. Every inhalation is lengthening the spine and every exhalation is deepening the fold. And then slowly come out of the position, lift the head up, shift the weight forward. We're coming into Pigeon Pose once more on the other side, so work with a block or bolster if you did so before. Otherwise, bring your left foot to your right hand and slowly level the hips, sit up straight, and find a position here for a couple of breaths. Press the back foot firmly into the mat. Lift the chest up, lengthen through the crown of the head. And then slowly come into the full variation, lowering down onto the elbows or straightening the arms forward, lower down the head, either onto the mat or on a bolster. Set yourself up. We're going to stay here for 3 minutes. This is the Yin variation of Pigeon Pose. So don't worry about leveling your hips. If the right hip comes up a little bit more, that's fine. We want to find softness in the position, relax all our muscles so that the fascia can open and lengthen over time. And that is going to open the hip and the hip flexor of the right leg little by little over time. Find stillness in the pose. Soft breathing. We're moving into the twist towards the right side. If you did it before, do it again. So come up for a moment and then hook your left elbow to the inside of your left foot. Bring the palms together, press them firmly against each other and curl open towards the right side. The left back ribs are curling under, right shoulder moving up and back. Suck the belly in, enjoy the deep twist. Keep lengthening through the spine and the crown of the head. Last breaths here. And then exhale, look down, release. Locate your block or bolster, place it underneath the left hip, and we're moving slowly into Hanumanasana split variation. I'm doing the supported version. Do whichever version you did before on your right leg, also on your left leg. We want to find balance. Lean back once more, straighten both legs, round the upper back, suck the belly in. Take a moment here and then shift weight forward, walk the front foot a little bit further forward. Lower down once more with a flat back and move like this little by little and deepen the posture. Lean a little bit more into your left knee. Lift the back heel up as high as you can. This is a very safe way to come into the pose because we're keeping both legs active. There's lots of muscular action before we actually lower down. So it's active stretching, moving with control. Take all the time you need and then eventually find your block, or if you're doing the full variation, the floor. And now we're going to square the hips. Front foot can be flexed or toes pointed. In any case, keep pulling the heel towards your hips. Level the hips, lift the chest, relax the shoulders. Come to steady breathing. Inhale, clasp the hands behind the back. Slowly open the chest, walk the fist back towards the knee. And then slowly take another inhalation, open the arms, look up, palms touch, interlace the fingers, come to Kali Mudra. So both index fingers pointing up towards the ceiling, lift the chest up. Relax the shoulders down and away from the ears. And then release the hands. Bring them back down again onto your hips. Last couple of breaths in this position. And then shift the weight forward, come onto the hands. Slowly walk your back knee in. Start bending your front knee. And we're moving into King Pigeon Pose on the other side. So if you worked with a block or any support underneath the hip before, keep the block. Otherwise, remove it. And bring your left heel closer to your groin and then catch your right foot. Bring it closer to your sit bone. Stretch your right thigh. And then find either marmot pose, hooking your right foot to the inside of your right elbow. Left hand can go straight up into a mudra or maybe catching your right hand. Lift the chest up. The left elbow is moving up and back. Level the hips, bring the right hip a little bit further forward. And your right foot is still kicking into your right elbow so that the chest can open up even more. And then slowly release, come out of the position, walk the hands forward and press into downward facing dog. Take all the time you need and move slowly. And most importantly, move into any direction you need to find a natural alignment in the body once more. And then slowly come onto the knees, find child's pose for a couple of breaths. Relax the head down. Move out of the position and place the hands forward. Move into a seated pose, so cross your ankles, straighten the legs, and hold on to the top of your shin bones, roll on to the back. Squeeze the knees in, and we're going to move into a couple of back bends. First variation, just set the feet down in front of your sit bones, feet hip distance width apart. Feet parallel. Hold on to your ankle bones, or maybe you're just able to touch your heels, that's fine. Any variation you're doing, take an inhalation and press into your feet. Lift the hips up. Keep the chin away from the chest, but move the chest closer towards your face. Activation in the glutes, in the hamstrings. And maybe you want to move the hands up towards your hips. And you can also take the thumbs and press them into the sacrum to lift the hips up a little bit higher. Exhale, release down whenever you're ready. You can move into any of those variations of bridge pose or maybe straight into Urdhva So find the position of the feet again. Place the hands down underneath the shoulders, fingertips looking towards the feet, and lift the heels off the floor. Inhale and rise. Lift the hips up. Push the heart back towards the back of the mat, shifting the weight back and forward. Straighten the elbows, relax the head down. And then maybe walk the hands closer towards your feet. Remember to keep the knees and the thighs parallel. And then maybe you want to intensify the stretch a little bit and lower down the heels. This is really your practice, so find any variation or any depths of this position and take a couple of breaths before moving out of the posture. Lower down. Walk the feet towards the outside of the mat and drop the knees to the center. Take rest. In a short while, we're going to move into a third variation of back bends. So you can repeat any variation we did earlier, or maybe move into Dwi Pada Viparita Dandasana. We're moving first as if we're doing Hanumanasana, placing the hands, setting the feet, and then coming onto the head. And then slowly walk the hands behind the head and come onto the forearms. I like to lift my heels off to give a little bit of space to my lower back. And then walk the feet in a little bit more, opening the chest towards the back of the room or back of your mat. And shifting the heart even further back. Keeping the strength in the legs, lifting the hips up. If you can go deeper and catch your foot or do any funky variation, go for it. Otherwise, just find stability in the posture and take a couple of deep breaths. To come out of it, press into the hands and find Hanumanasana once more. Strengthen the legs, hips lifted, and slowly exhale down. Find a resting position. This time you might want to straighten the legs. Place your left hand on top of your heart and the right hand on top of the belly. And let the breath come down and the nervous system relax. And then slowly walk the feet back in, cross the knees, Gomukhasana on the back. Catch your left foot with the right hand and the right foot with the left hand and pull the knees closer into your chest. Take a couple of breaths there. We're taking the tension out of the lower back. Maybe you want to lift the forehead up towards the knees for breath, and then switch sides. Release. Slowly shift the weight back, bring the hands underneath your sacrum. And inhale, lower the legs down, and exhale, bring the legs back up. When you come back up, lift the hips up just for count to find a little bit more strength in the core. Inhale down, exhale up, lift. Inhale down, exhale up, lift. That's your movement. You can go really quickly. We're just trying to bring some more fire into the core. And then slowly bend the knees, bring them into the chest, spread the arms out wide, and then drop the knees over towards the left. Look over your right shoulder, relax the shoulders down. Soft spinal twist. Inhale back to center and drop the knees over to the right. Look over the left shoulder or close your eyes. If you feel very little in this spinal twist, just know that you're working on your natural mobility. And then slowly roll up, come into a seat. And then shift weight forward, come onto all fours. We're going to start with Pincha Mayurasana. I like to start my practice with a belt. So measure the belt across the width of your shoulders and loop it just above your elbows so that the forearms remain shoulder width apart. And then slowly walk the feet in, come onto the tippy toes, feel the weight in your fingertips, and then kick up and find your position. If you're not practicing forearm balance or this is new to you, you can do dolphin dips, which is basically the same that I'm doing except of kicking up. Or of course, you can always come back and work on your Sheersh-Asana Headstand. Let's come to the second variation. I'm going to work with a block, squeezing the short edges of the block with my index fingers and the long edge of the block with my thumbs. The belt is still there and I walk the feet in, come onto the tippy toes, feel the strength in the core, feel the weight in my fingertips, and then I kick up. Lengthening the feet up towards the ceiling, trying to draw the lower ribs in. And I'm coming out of the position. So don't worry if you're not synchronized. You can stop, pause the video, work on dolphin dips or Sheersh-Asana, your headstand variations, or other Pincha variations. Feel free to stay in the position as long as you want. Or maybe skip it, rest, wave with the white flag, whatever feels good for you right now. I'm going to go into a last variation, measuring my elbows, placing the hands down without any props. The forearms are parallel to each other, walking the feet in, coming onto the tippy toes, feeling the weight in my fingertips, and then kicking up. In my own practice, I normally repeat this position 3 times. Sometimes by the 3rd round, I've lost all my energy and strength, and sometimes the posture starts to unfold the more I repeat it. We're now also perfectly prepared to try split variation. So if you want to give it a go, just look forward in between the hands. Lower the chest a little bit more down and use your legs for balancing in this pose. And whenever you're ready, come out of it again. Let's rest in child's pose, catch your breath, release all the stress and strength from the shoulders. Rest. And then slowly come to downward facing dog and step forward. Extend the legs out and we're going into a passive version of Paschimottanasana. This is caterpillar pose in Yin Yoga. So you can round your back and just drop the head down onto your shin bones, or maybe you want to use a bolster, blankets, whatever you need to be comfortable. The arms are right next to the legs, palms facing up. We're releasing the back body, bringing space to the lungs, to the kidneys. Try to feel the breath in the back body. With the inhalation, feeling the back lifting up towards the ceiling. And with the exhalation, releasing down towards the legs. This is a beautiful posture for replenishing energy and enhancing introspection. It's very calming and soothing. So enjoy the last couple of breaths here before Shavasana. Stay absolutely relaxed. Zero muscular tension in your body. And then slowly come out of the position. Lift the spine up, bend the knees, and roll down onto the back. Set yourself up so that you are supremely comfortable. Maybe you want to place a bolster underneath the knees. Cover yourself with a blanket, but for sure, if your hair is tied up, open it and release all your hair follicles, your skull. Relax your face, the back of the neck. Release the shoulders into the earth. Feel all the weight and the tension releasing into your mat, into the earth, taking all of your weight, giving you spaciousness and relaxation. The belly is soft, the hips relaxed, the arms and the legs and the feet empty and light. Relax. Relax. And then slowly bring your awareness back into the body. Deepen your breath and move your fingers and your toes. Draw the knees into your chest. Give yourself a big hug. Squeeze the knees in. And then roll over to your right side. Rest for a moment and only come up when you feel ready. We meet in a comfortable seated position with the eyes closed. Place the hands on top of your thighs or knees, index and thumb together, fingers facing down. Take a moment to send out gratitude to your body and the practice. And then slowly bring the hands in front of your heart into Anjali Mudra. And let's close the practice with one Om together. Take a deep inhalation through the nose. Exhale everything out. And inhale for Om. Bow down to your heart. Place the thumbs on top of your third eye center, forehead. Thank you so much for sharing your energy and your practice with me. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.